welcome all to morning yoga. My name is Mark Cormier, and we do these classes on Facebook Live for you all, just because I love yoga, my wife loves yoga, and she's agreed most weeks to be my student. So anyway, let me introduce Kathy.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning, Kathy?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing
Oh, I
well.
have my slippers on still. Oops.
Oops.
Excuse me, everybody.
Anything you want to work on today, Kathy?
Trying to stay calm when things are busy now that we're back into the reopen world.
And you work for the San Francisco Public Library.
I do. I work for the public. I work for you.
So so customer service.
Right.
Working for
Essential
the public.
worker.
Yeah, there's always an element of the unknown.
And we're still masked too,
Mm.
at least for another day.
Which probably makes it hard to sometimes read people just because you can't see half their face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we'll do our best. Sometimes yoga doesn't always address the specific situation we're looking to address. Having said that, generally the side effects are beneficial.
They are. That's why I'm here.
All right. All right. So let's find our balance first. So I invite you to bring your hands onto your hips. You go a little wider than that. And we're just going to march it from side to side. Just waking up our legs. Yeah. Might soften those knees just a tad. Yeah. Now let's let those marches get a little bit smaller, a little bit slower. Take your time. No need to turn the dial all the way down right yet. And then eventually we're going to stay grounded through 2 feet. Still swinging it from side to side though. Letting the swing get smaller, a little slower. And then ground it down through 2 feet. From this place, let's rock our body front to back. Staying grounded through the heels, grounded through the toes. Yeah. Starting to find our center of balance. We'll do one more exercise here. So finding your center of balance, or your center of your foot. And just circling the circumference of the foot. And then taking those circumference circles the other way.
Excited I can do this in my meeting this morning and no one will know.
No, yeah. So now that we've identified the center of our foot, we have a choice. We can either keep our stance nice and wide, great for foundation, great place to work in the mornings. This is generally, well, I'll do at least my first sun cell. At a certain point, could be now, could be a little bit later as we do a couple more sun salutations, you might narrow the balance. I want you to just demonstrate that. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Certainly a lot trickier to balance, but it's also an excellent way to start to connect with your center and just noticing that. So I'll let you make that choice, either working the narrower stance or maybe a little bit wider, at least for this first one. From our feet, finding our legs. From our legs, finding our spine. Relax shoulders tall through the crown. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. Without shortening the neck, a slight tuck of the chin as we start to take our attention inward. And I'll invite you to start this morning just by watching your breath as it flows in and out. Soft eyes. If you're comfortable with closing your eyes, feeling free to close your eyes. Arriving here in our yoga space on a yoga mat, ready for a morning yoga practice. My favorite time to do yoga. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation in, followed by a long, slow exhalation out. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to turn this into a full body breath, bringing the air to the top of the chest, the base of the belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your bodies. As you breathe out, I'll encourage you to engage your abdominals as you draw the low belly in and up, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up, squeezing a little more air out. Also, more importantly, providing structural support for our low backs as we move through these shapes and sequences. Almost like having a corset on, but the corset's from the inside with that abdominal engagement. To this deeper, fuller breath, moving towards the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath. A slight constriction of the base of your throat to add a slight sound and feel to your breath. And this is a go-to breath in many flow practices. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice, often compared to the sound of the ocean as the waves wash in and out. Last two details before we start to attach breath to movement. I'll invite you to take the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth, keeping that tongue loop throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, a Mona Lisa smile, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, if you closed your eyes, opening your eyes, hands by our side. Keeping it simple, just working with arms and shoulders as we inhale, arms up and over the head. Exhaling, arms back down. Two more times like this. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms down. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms down. Now adding a forward fold, half sun salutation. Inhaling, arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to lift chin and tail, arcing the back. Hands can cap the knees. On the exhale, folding again. Hands can catch the back of the calves as we round the spine. Inhaling, arms out to the side, moving towards a flat back, hinging at the hips, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Two more times like this. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms over. Inhaling, finding an arc. Exhaling, finding an arch. So we're undulating the spine here. Inhaling, flat back, hinging at the hips, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall, neutral spine. One more time to go. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, finding length. Exhaling, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun salutation A, I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy, just so people can see your spine a little bit more. Yeah, looks perfect. Inhaling, arms up and over the head. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, folding again, and I'll invite you to find your down dog. I'm not going to cue Vinyasa. Grounding one hand down, and then the other, stepping one foot back, and then the other. And finding your first down dog of the day. As we hold this first down dog of the day, I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply, grounding down through that opposite heel. And try to get that heel all the way down if you can, and get a better stretch. And then moving back and forth between the two sides. Just seeing how your body feels this morning, what feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. Now from this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. You're still breathing, your mind's still moving, your heart's still beating. But by focusing on your breath, finding a little more space between each thought, each breath, each beat of the heart. And then on the tail end of our breath, I'll invite you to bend the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little bit higher, more space in the low back, and then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. The second one, let's play with that narrower stance. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. You just notice how you instantly start to connect with your center. Inhaling, arms up and over the head. Exhaling, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, folding again. This time I'm going to cue Vinyasa as you cycle through Chaturanga. Yoga push-up, elbows stay soft the whole time. Inhaling into up dog as you roll over the toes, a little bit of a back bend. And then on the exhale, rolling back over the toes as you find your down dog, lifting hips high. Again, as we hold this down dog, either holding it in stillness, just seeing what arises, or adding a little movement, a little swing, a little sway, churning it up. And both are equally valid ways to work any shape. And then if you chose to add movement, I'll invite you to move back towards stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. And then on the tail end of that breath, keeping that abdominal engagement, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or you play with a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun salutation B will be one. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a chair pose on the inhale, knees over toes. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, engaging the glutes to support a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then on the exhale, cycling through Vinyasa. And you can always skip that at home. You might just find your down dog straight off the bat, depending on where your energy is this morning. Inhaling into up dog. And then rolling over the toes. Back to down dog. From here, flow style. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky. High on the left toes for a nice Achilles tendon calf stretch. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is as best you can. Lifted leg straight, stacking the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Take your time. And then looking between the hands as you bring that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, finding your warrior one, arms up and over the head. And then on your next exhale, spinning the palms out, coming back down, spinning back heel up, finding your low lunge. And then back to down dog as you will, either cycling through Vinyasa or stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. Take your time. Second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky. High on the right toes. Trying to keep that left shoulder just as it is. Lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands. As we bring that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms up and over the head for your warrior one. And then riding the breath back down to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through Vinyasa or stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. I love the way you're working this morning, Kathy. Nice and mindful, nice and slow. Really feeling the action. And that's really what it's all about. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your Ujjayi breath flows in and out. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step, maybe take that jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding. On the inhale, stay low, knees over toes, hands overhead for the chair pose. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by our side. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart. You can face the camera here. Just refocusing our attention inward, letting our weight collect in our feet without shortening the neck, a slight tuck of the chin. Watching as our breath flows in and out. Now lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our side. Sun Salutation C, an extended standing pose sequence. I'll ask you to go sideways. On the inhale, finding your chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then on the exhale, back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. So let's do another version of the three-legged dog, the dragon dog. We'll add a twist. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes as we stretch out that Achilles tendon. And then bringing shoulders over wrist, right knee to right elbow. Maybe give it a tap, maybe not. That's it, that's it, that's it. Inhaling back up. Now finding the twist. Right to left, maybe give it a tap. This is a tough one. And then back up. Now bringing knees center, let's hold an extra half breath. Inhale and hold. And then that next exhale, squeezing navel to spine as you get that foot as far front as you can, trying to land right between the hands, yeah. Now spinning the back heel down, arms up and over the head for our Warrior One. In Warrior One, let's bring hands back to the hips as we shift weight onto the front foot. And you look pretty long there, but if you can go a little bit longer, go for it. If not, you stay right where you are. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. They're not going to get there. We want to feel that energetic action of back hip moving front, front hip moving back. From here, let's bring hands onto our shoulders, just relaxing our shoulders and squaring our heart front. Now finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart and throat, fourth and fifth chakra, and then stretching those hands high to the sky. From here with the breath, gathering up the energy, exhaling cactus arms as we offer it out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We've got 3 more to go. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one coming up, we'll hold. Breathing in, breathing out. Now holding your cactus arms. The elbows move back, the wrists come with, and the light, it'll ripple those fingers, enjoying the stretch. Now let's sneak in the Warrior 3 balance challenge as hands come back to the hips, spinning the back heel up as we take a big step in. Take your time. Now you're going to start to play with balancing, so you want to take an even bigger step in, yeah. So really, you're going to be kind of in this place right here. Yeah, right
Oh,
there.
I was just trying to get the camera.
That's all good. Now you're going to start to balance on that right foot as you lift that left foot up. Yeah, don't worry too much about it.
I just want to make sure I'm in the camera for your audience.
Of course, and I appreciate that. So this could be your Warrior 3, relatively mellow. Maybe you go a bit further, keeping your hands on your hips. Yeah, we're going to do a different variation this morning. Now in our Warrior 3 with hands on hips, I'll invite you to lift that back leg up for 1. So you're going to pulse the legs. You lift it up and down. Up and down. We'll do 6. Up and down. Up and down. Last 2. Up and down. Last one. Let's try to lift and hold. Come up a little higher. A little higher. And then landing that back foot down as we find our Warrior 1 prep. Finding a length of stance that works for you. From here, with our hands on our hips, we'll turn Warrior 1 hips into Warrior 2 hips. Turn the hips to the side, narrowing the stance for heel to arch alignment, and then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, painting rainbows, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. A little more flowy. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last two. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in and holding. As you reach up higher, you reach down further, finding more space in that front lateral line. Breathing into the space between each rib and enjoying that stretch. Now turning the reverse warrior back into warrior two. Transitioning to the triangle, thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. Other way, crease of hips down here, base of ribs there. We want to deepen that crease, we want to lengthen those ribs. And then grounding bottom hand down on your shin. I'll invite you to line that thumb up with the shin bone to open up that bottom shoulder. Opening up top shoulder with that top hand, and then stretching hand high to the sky. Holding the triangle with every in-breath as your diaphragm stretches down towards your navel. We have back navel and front navel. We also have side navel, this area here. Gathering energy in your center of balance. It's a big ball of energy, 3 or 4 fingers below the navel, and it's a big ball of energy. As you breathe out, as the diaphragm domes up to the heart, and we have back heart, side heart, front heart. Sending energy out into space through both arms, both legs, and both ends of the spine. So let's turn the triangle into the half moon as top hand finds the hip. We're going to take a big step in. So you're going to soften that front knee. Take your time. It might be 2 steps in. And then we're going to ground down through the pair of hands, sure, as we lift back leg up. Now that second hand can stay down, or it might find the hip. And keeping hand on hip, just like we did before, I'm going to invite you to pulse this leg. So we're going to lift it up, inhale, and down, up, and down, up, and down. We're halfway done. Up, and down, up, and down. Last one here, we're going to lift it up and hold. Maybe lift it a little higher, and then softening the front knee as you land a short stance. I was actually not even going to take you to that place. Coming back down, finding your warrior two. Yeah. Come on up. There you go. And from warrior two, a big windmill of the arms as you stretch out your shoulders, finding your low lunge. And then back to down dog. As you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Eat full breaths. Take your time. It's fine. I'll give you a couple breaths just to come back to that even breath. Dialing back in, just watching as your breath flows in and out. Nice, and I can hear you breathe, which is nice. So from here, let's move towards our second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky. High on the right toes. Now finding your dragon dog as you bring left knee to left elbow. Maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And then back up. Now finding the twist. Left knee to right elbow. Maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And then back up. Now bringing the knee center and holding that extra half breath. Breath in. And then navel to spine as you squeeze everything tight, trying to get that foot as far front as you can, landing it lightly, spinning the back heel down. Arms up and over the head for our warrior one. Take your time. From our warrior one with hands overhead, we'll bring hands back to the hips. With our hands on our hips, we can shift weight onto the front foot to go longer in the stance if you're not already at that place where you get some nice stretch in your legs. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. We're not going to get there, but you want to feel that energetic action. Back hip moving front hip moving back. Now bringing your hands onto your shoulders, just relaxing those shoulders and squaring the heart front. Now switching the clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, elbows wide to the side, open heart, open throat. And then keeping that openness in 4th and 5th chakra as you stretch those hands high. From here, with the breath, gathering up the energy Exhaling cactus arms as we offer it out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in and breathing out. Last two, breathing in, breathing out. Last one, breathing in, breathing out, and holding. The elbows move back, the wrists come with, and I'll invite you to ripple those fingers. Just inviting your hands to be as supple as they can be. Now bringing hands to hips, and we're going to move towards that warrior three balance as we spin the back heel up. And it's a big step in. It might be 2 steps. So you really want to bring that foot really, really close to that right leg, just so it's super easy. To that left leg. And then before you even start to pitch the body forward, just see what it's like to stand on one foot. And this could be your warrior three. Let's tap the back big toe down a little bit further back here and just see, okay, that you can always come back to that place. And then once you have that confidence, we'll start to pitch the body forward and lengthen through the leg. And we're going to keep our hands on our hips here. So finding a place where you can work. And we're going to lift and lower the back leg. And I'll cue it with the breath. So breathing in, lifting up and down. Up and down. Not a big movement here. It's harder than it looks, right? Up and down. Up and down. We're halfway done. Up and down. Up and down. Last one here. We're going to hold it up. Try to lift up higher and higher. My muscle doesn't get used too often. And one more time, a little higher. And then landing. A short stance. And then finding your warrior one with your hands on your hips. So finding a length of stance that keeps you stretching your legs.
Kind of surprising that left side is not as strong.
Yeah, that's a great thing about our yoga. So we start to figure out those things about ourselves. My left is different than my right, vice versa. So we're in warrior one prep. Yes, we're going to use our hands on our hips to turn warrior one hips into warrior two hips. And now finding that one long arm. Looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, painting rainbows. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. All right, definitely get the palm tree swing going. Inhale and exhale. Last two here. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more time. Breathing in, and then we'll hold that reverse warrior. Yes, you want to come back to this place. Awesome. Reaching up higher, reaching down further. Feeling that stretch in that front lateral line, and breathing into that stretch. Finding more space between each rib. Now turning our reverse warrior back into warrior two. You're going to bend that front leg. And then from here, we're going to move towards the triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. Take your time. There's no need to rush. You want to deepen that crease, lengthen those ribs. Grounding bottom hand down on your shin. Lining up the thumb with the shin bone, opening up that bottom shoulder. Top hand's going to open up that top shoulder. And then stretching that hand high to the sky. So we've got the frontal plane here. So when I talk about the diaphragm going down to the navel, it's very obvious. The navel's right there. But again, it's a big ball of energy. So there's side navel, there's back energy. And that's your center of balance. And it's not a little tiny center of balance. It could be a big ball. So you're breathing into that place. And then as you exhale and the diaphragm domes up to the heart, sending energy out into space as you connect the center of yourself to the periphery of the room. Now moving towards that second balance challenge. Hand finds the hip as you take a big step in. Moving towards our half moon. Feeling free to ground the shape with both hands. Find your balance. And then lifting that back leg any amount. And you can do this exercise with two hands down. Or maybe one hand finds the hip. We're going to keep hand on hip this morning. As we lift that back leg up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. Lift up a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, and then landing a short stance, no big deal. Shifting the weight into the feet. Hands can find the hips as you lengthen your stance. And from our warrior two, a big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. And as we hold this down dog, coming back to Samarvriti, same breath, equal inhale, equal exhale. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. On the inhale, stay low. We'll come back to our chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine. Hands by your side. Invite you to face the camera, and you bring hands to heart. This time adding an isometric engagement as we press the palms together, elbows wide, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, connecting with the strength of your center. Now lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our side. Moving towards, a lot of folks call it the pigeon pose. It's a very popular Wednesday item offering. I like to call it the swan pose just because I would rather be a swan than a pigeon. How about you, Kathy? Pigeons have a lot. They're all part of it.
I feel for pigeons when I see them every day. They've got a hard life.
Okay. Well, you can be a pigeon. I'm going to be a swan.
Sounds good. I'll be both. Maybe a hybrid.
A hybrid, the pigeon swan.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
like
go.
The cat dog.
Pardon?
Like the cat
like
dog.
the cat dog. All right, so let's go sideways. And we'll start with our chair. Knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Now finding the power chair. So you can go even lower, yeah. So stay low, keep the knees right where they are. You want to have a parallel torso, parallel thighs. It's the skier's posture. Do you want to play with your jump back?
Sure.
Okay, so you grind down through two palms. You want to keep the hips high. You want to think about unfolding the legs back. You're not really jumping them back. You're just unfolding the body. Try to keep the hip nice. Okay, beautiful. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. So let's return to that hip opener on our first Sun Sal B, our only Sun Sal B today. So big toes touch, heels slightly apart. It's going to be a little bit different though. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is, stacking the hip, so straight leg. Take your time. Now bending that leg, opening up that hip. And I really want you to close that knee joint because we're going to keep that knee joint closed as we sweep that right knee towards right wrist. Take your time. Now walking the left foot back as you settle your hips. Take your time. And then when you can't go back anymore, unfurling the foot so the tops of the toes are down, not the tips. From here, let's set fourth and fifth chakra here as we find the tips of 10 fingers. Shoulder blades back and down, a little lift of the chin. Yeah, you might look up just a little bit. Yeah, open up that fifth chakra, your throat chakra. So your eyes might go up here a little bit. From here, you want to keep that openness in fourth and fifth chakra as long as you can as you spider those fingers front, finding more length in your spine. Nice, take your time. You get a much better stretch when you take your time on this one. So we're putting the pigeon swan to sleep here. When you can't walk the hands any more forward, I'll invite you to let the pose go soft as you let your forehead rest on the mat. As we hold this shape, this is an action, not a movement. I'll invite you to put your mind in your hips and stretching your hips away from the midline as you find a little more space in the very center of yourself and breathing into that space. This can be super intense depending on where your hips are. Whatever sensation you're feeling, whether it's intense sensation or not so intense, just breathing into that sensation. Using our breath as a vehicle for our awareness. From the sleeping swan pigeon, we're going to spider the fingers back in. Take your time. I'll invite you to find a perpendicular form on the bent knee side of things. And then the other hand goes out to the side. I call it an outrigger hand. You're going to pull back with that form as you start to turn your heart towards that outrigger hand. So swan twist here. Nice traction for the low back. Now coming back center, you'll find that other perpendicular form and that other outrigger hand. And then pulling back with that form as you turn your heart towards that outrigger hand. Again, giving your low back the exact right amount of traction that's right and good for it this morning. Now coming back center, and we'll move towards a signature pose here. So finding the tips of 10 fingers, shoulder blades back and down, and I'll suggest a little lift of the chin even before you go there. And now sweeping hands out to the side as swan pigeon takes flight. Awesome. In order to do this, you don't see it. There's a lot of internal action here. The pelvic diaphragm is lifting in and up towards breath diaphragm. Both diaphragms lifting in and up towards heart diaphragm. Another way to say it is first and second chakra move up towards third chakra. Beautiful. From here, spinning the palms out. You're going to ground down through the palms. Tucking the back toes. And take your time. As we find a three-legged dog, keeping that knee joint closed as long as you can. And then very carefully starting to open up that knee, inviting more circulation. We've been on our knee, we've got our body weight there. We want to be super mindful to treat it kindly here. Now grounding down through that foot, yeah. And I'll invite you to find a short dog as you walk the feet in and widen the dog. So I was going to cue vinyasa. I think this will be equally invigorating. So finding a short three-legged dog, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Now lifting right leg high. And I'll invite you to find a donkey kick, swinging that leg up as you lift the left leg off the floor, doing that 3 or 4 times. Now grounded down through that foot, other foot up, so left leg lifts, and then using the swing of that left leg to lift the right foot up as we find a donkey kick. Lots of shoulder engagement. And after one more, grounding down through 2 feet. Walking those feet back. If you want to sneak in a child's pose, go for it. That can be as invigorating as the traditional vinyasa, if not more so. Yeah, and spinning palms up is an excellent call. When we do those donkey kicks, it's handstand prep. Our shoulders do a lot of work. So this is a nice way to release and relax the shoulders. When you're ready, from child's pose, I'll invite you to find your down dog. And again, take your time, find your breath. Make sure you're in a place of ease in the midst of your effort. From here, we're going to move towards swan pigeon, second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky. High on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is. Lifted leg straight, stacking the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now we're going to keep that knee joint closed as we swing that left knee to left wrist. And take your time on this one. So bring it on in. You want to ground it. And now you're going to take your time, settle the hips, take your time, take your time, take your time. Yeah, just let your body melt into the shape. When that long leg can't go any further back, unfurling the toes to stabilize the shape. Finding the tips of 10 fingers, shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat, might lift the chin just a little bit. And then keeping 4th and 5th chakra open, spidering those fingers front as you stretch out your back. Take your time here. It's like pulling pasta through a press. You don't want to take your time. And then when you can't go anymore, letting the pose relax. And Kathy always likes to add a little swing, a little sway, a little micro movement. So certainly allowing and encouraging that. the only action I'll cue, that's her action, the action I'll cue is putting her mind in her hips, so you can stretch your hips away from the midline. They're not going to move, it's an action. And just breathing into whatever sensation you're feeling. For some people, this is a lovely, delightful pose. For other people, not so much. So whatever you're feeling, just using your breath as a vehicle for your awareness, using your breath also as a way just to find a little more ease in the shape. From the sleeping swan pigeon, we're going to spider the fingers back. Take your time. As we come on up, we'll find a perpendicular form on the bent knee side of things. Outrigger hand on the long leg side of things. And then pulling back with that form as you turn your heart towards that outrigger hand, getting a nice traction in the low back and hips. Giving yourselves the exact right amount of traction that's right and good for you. No wrong, no right. The only wrong is if you pull so hard you pull something. And even if you didn't want to do anything, just being in a place of ease, that's a good place. From this swan pigeon twist on this side, we'll go the other way, other perpendicular form, other outrigger hand, and then any amount, just pulling back as we stretch out our low back and hips. Maybe a little lift of the chin as you open up that fifth chakra. Nice. Now coming back center, finding the tips of 10 fingers. Setting shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat, and even lifting the chin here as we open up fifth chakra. And you want to feel that abdominal engagement, that ball of energy that's the center of yourself lifts in and up. So first, second, and third chakra are all lifting up as we float those hands out to the side and then up and over the head. And this is a lot harder than she makes it look. And again, I'll invite you to lift that chin a little bit. That's opening the throat. I love how smooth sixth chakra is here. Your brow is nice and smooth. There's no effort to this at all. Awesome. And look just how as she stays in the shape, it starts to develop. And now spinning the palms out, grounding down through the two hands. So really find those palms. And then you're going to tuck the back toes as you find your three-legged dog, keeping that knee joint closed. And very carefully opening up that knee, and maybe that hip too. Just inviting more prana, more life force into the knee, more circulation. And then when you're ready, grounding down through 2 feet. Take your time. From here, one more time. Let's walk the feet in. And we'll start on the left side this time. Left leg up to the sky for a short three-legged dog. And then finding your donkey kicks, any amount. As you use the swing of that top leg. And shoulders super engaged here. And then when you've done 3 or 4 on one side, grinding down through that foot. And 3 or 4 on the other side. And it's the top leg that does the work. You might think about leading with the back of the knee. That top leg stays long. And then grounding down through 2 feet, walking it back to your down dog shape. And then from down dog shape, I'm going to invite you to land the knees lightly as you find your child's pose. I'm going to cue it very specifically here. I want you to try to find that sits bone to heel connection initially. So you're going to walk the hands back. You're going to settle the hips back towards your heels. Now keeping that sits bone to heel connection, working the arms in extension. You get a nice stretch in your low back. If you keep that connection as long as you can, and then when you can't go any further, letting the pose go soft as your forehead presses into the mat. If you want to spin your palms up again, go for it. If not, don't do it. Now in our child's pose, if you spun the palms up, I invite you to spin them back down, and keeping hips and heels just as they are, As you walk your hands to one side, so you can find a side bend. Yeah. Stretching far hip to far heel. Now walking your hands through center, finding that side bend on the second side as you stretch other hip to other heel. And then walking your hands center. Let's walk the hands in. Let's bring our feet off to one side. So. From here, let's find the top of the mat so our head has something soft to lay on when we get all the way down to the floor. And we'll get onto our backs with a long, slow roll down. So starting from tall spine or neutral spine, back of the head's in line with the sacrum. You can have the arms in front. From here, we'll find C-spine as we tuck tail and chin. Awesome. And then keeping C-spine as we slowly roll ourselves down, laying each vertebrae down as if we're laying pearls onto a cushion. Slow, slow, slow. You can always catch the back of the thighs for the assist. Take your time, particularly the lower you go, the slower you go. Awesome. When we get down, I'll suggest full body stretch. The low back's going to lift, arms by the ears as you point fingers and toes. Big breath in. And then a big breath out. Let's sweep our hands by our hips to support the action of the legs. We're not moving towards Shavasana yet, just so you know. So I'm going to have hands, maybe hands a little closer to the hips, yeah, right there. You're going to press your back into the mat to recruit the core. You're going to walk one foot in and then the other. From here, let's bring right ankle on top of left thigh. And then we're going to draw left knee in as we catch the back of the thigh or the shin for the supine swan pigeon. As we hold this shape, I'll invite you to gently rock it side to side, getting into those hips, releasing and relaxing the low back. And then coming back to center, releasing the thigh or the shin as we ground down through that. Take your time. I'm going to cue you very specific action here. So keep that there. I'm going to keep the figure four shape. Then you're going to release, keep the figure four shape. You're going to ground down through that foot. And you want to flex that foot as you bring it on off. And that's going to help keep the knee safe. Ground it down through 2 feet. Now you're going to take other ankle on top of other thigh. You're going to draw that knee in as you reach on through. This is threading the needle pose, either catching the thigh or the shin. As you hug the knee in, stretching the tailbone forward and down, and then adding that rocking side to side motion as we release and relax our back, massaging our kidneys, getting into that hip. And then back to center. And I'm going to cue you very specifically here. We're going to keep the figure four shape as we release the thigh or the shin. Ground it down through that foot. Flexing this foot to recruit the muscles around the knee, keeping the connective tissue supported. As you lose the figure four shape, ground it down through 2 feet. From this place, to support the action of the legs, I'll invite you to press your back into the mat. No one's going to be able to really see that. As you lengthen through the legs. Once the legs are long, you're going to let the low back relax as you spin the palms up and give your armpits some room to breathe. Scooting the head back as you flatten the shoulders. Doing whatever else feels right and good for you. The tip of your tongue is now neutral in your mouth. A slight part to the lips. Initially focusing on your breath. But as we take our senses inside and hold the shape, even letting that focus soften. As we find our pratyahara. We won't be here too long. I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. I'll invite you to move your mind before you move your body, bringing your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out, much like watching a river as the river flows by. To this watching of your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation, followed by an even longer, slower exhalation. With those longer, slower exhalations, finding a more relaxing breath. Now inviting more life force into our bodies as we gently ripple fingers and toes. Now circling wrists and ankles as we invite that life force, that prana in towards center. Adding a little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, whatever feels right and good for you. Connecting with your own innate sense of well-being. Now recruiting our core as we press our low back into the mat to draw one knee in towards the heart and then the other. Hands catch the shins, unless you want to go big like that. And then Apanasana, just gently massaging your low belly as you lift and lower the low back and hips, front to back, side to side, maybe little circles. One leg and then the other, whatever feels right and good for you. Kathy's chosen the happy baby, another great place to go. From here, reaching back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin. Keeping the chin tucked, hands come back to the shins. Rolling like a ball as we roll front to back, massaging our spine. And then a little momentum, a little core engagement as we find a cross-legged sit. As we sit, I'll invite you to bring the heels of your hands to your thighs, pushing the thighs away, sitting up a little straighter, a little taller, as we settle the shoulders back and down onto rib shell. From here, both hands find the heart. Without shortening the neck, a slight bow of the chin as you thank yourself for practicing yoga. And as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world, the light within us honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you all for watching with us. Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me here.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody.
And I love how namaste sounds just like have a nice day, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you so much.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Yes.